Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. Well, yesterday, you may recall, we had a couple of cats on the show. Well, today we decided, you know what, we need some dog representation. So my next guest brought her beautiful service dog. I'm joined by Angèle Charlebois. She's a client with the Lions Foundation of Canada Guide Dogs. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your experience with the Lions Foundation and how you got connected with them.
About in 2010, I applied for my first service dog, my first hearing ear dog guide, and I didn't think I was going to be approved because I didn't think my hearing loss was that bad. So it was a crossroads in my life where when I was approved, I'm like, oh, my hearing is that bad. So I started depending on a service dog back in 2010, and that's when I started wanting to do some fundraising because I had my first dog completely free, no cost. My second dog completely free, no cost.
Wow.
So the foundation also sent me a ticket to fly to Oakville. The second time they sent me a train ticket to go to Oakville, and I stayed there for 2 weeks. Mylo, sit. Down, down. I stayed there for 2 weeks and they fed me, they gave me a private room, and I was just dumbfounded.
Wow.
They don't get any grants from the government, any levels of government.
So it's all private funding?
It's all private funding.
Just amazing. So how does Mylo help you then?
Mylo alerts me to sounds I don't hear anymore. When I'm home alone, I don't wear my hearing aid. I'm wearing a hearing aid now, that's why I can hear you.
Right.
But I don't hear my wake-up alarm. That's my favorite work with Mylo. She wakes me up in the morning.
It's a great way to get up in the morning.
Yes,
it's better than an alarm, actually,
yes,
right?
I'd rather have a dog wake me
absolutely.
up. Also, kitchen timer. I don't burn food as much. Door knocking. If my daughter's on the second floor, I'm in the basement and she's calling my name, I won't hear her. So Mylo alerts me. She puts her paws on me and then she runs to the second floor. Same thing with the kitchen timer. She alerts me, and then she runs to the kitchen, and right away I know where the sound is coming from.
But what is the cause of your hearing loss?
I had otosclerosis, where the 3 inner bones in my ears became calcified, so it wasn't conducting the sound to my cochlear anymore. And I had an ear surgery. Now I have a bone-anchored hearing aid.
I see. Okay. And does it get worse over time, or it does, eh?
Yeah, it does get worse over time. I tried hearing aids before, different types of hearing aids, behind-the-ear hearing aids, the one that you put inside. But I always had ear infections. So I qualified for a bone-anchored hearing aid.
Well, I want you to toot your own horn, and I know it's tough for us to do, but you had told me off camera that, you know, you wanted to start helping raise funds because of, you know, just the great work that they did and provided you. And you raised, what, over $100,000 on your own? Not
on my own. I contacted the district governor of the Lions clubs in District A4, so Ontario and Quebec. And it was the Lions clubs that started the Lions Foundation of Canada Dog Guides. So they do fundraisers every year. And then I contacted the district governor, Andy Etherington, and I said, hey, we need to do something in Ottawa. So I made the pledge to continue doing the fundraising every year for 10 years until we reach $100,000. And we reached that goal about 4 or 5 years ago, and that's when I took a step back.
Okay.
Now I'm just starting to slowly get back into it.
Nice, nice. Well, then you've got the Pet Value Walk coming up. Tell us about that, how people can get involved.
This is a walk that will be in Navan, and it's at 127 Colonial Road in Navan. It's going to be this Saturday at 1 o'clock. You can bring your family pets. You can bring any family member you want. You don't have to raise funds either. You can just go to the event. The Lions clubs, they continue giving. There's a barbecue that they're going to offer, and there's drinks and pop and water that you can have. There's no cost.
Oh, terrific.
It's a great learning experience also for people to know about the different types of service dogs that exist out there now.
Yeah, and it's the cost is it's not cheap. You were telling me what your first dog was about, probably $25,000 to do the full training, and of course, you know, you had to be trained, not just the dog. What is the cost now?
Now it's $35,000 to breed, raise, train, and place a dog guide from the Lions Foundation. And that includes Canadians that live in Vancouver. You have to fly out those clients in Vancouver to Oakville to stay there for a week or 2 weeks. I don't know how long the longest stay is, but they pay for that. The client doesn't pay anything. The only thing I paid was for pop and chips while I stayed there for 2 weeks.
That's it. Yeah, that's a good deal. There's no doubt about it. Walk me through your experience. So when, you know, from the beginning of meeting Mylo to where he is now, what was your training like for the two of you?
Well, when my first service dog passed away in 2019, Candy, and I had to reapply for another service dog. But there's a priority for people who have already had a service dog.
I see.
So I was lucky enough, I didn't wait a month. I just waited a month and a half for a service dog for Mylo, and they sent me a plane ticket, and I flew out there, and I stayed in their facility for 2 weeks. I was introduced to Mylo the second day I arrived, which the first day waiting is just, oh my gosh, I want to meet my dog. I want to meet my dog. So, and then we had classes every single day, and they taught us how to hold on to a leash. They taught us about public access. What are the issues with public access? Sometimes, how should you react? So it was really a learning experience still. It was my second round, but I continued learning.
And I imagine Mylo was trained even before you met Mylo, right? So he goes through a training process, and then the two of you continue that training afterwards.
Yes, there's a breeding program in Breslau, Ontario, and that's where they breed the puppies. That's where the puppies are born. And once the puppies are 8 weeks old, they go to a foster family to get the very basic training. Sit, stay, pee, poo, eat, you know. And once they're approximately a year old, then they go to dog training university.
It's such a pleasure having you, Angèle. Thank you so much for joining. I'll remind everybody at the end of the show, by the way, how you can get involved again. We'll be back with more after.